What is your American dream?
My American dream is to have a combination of living in an urban environment with a lot of culture and beautiful things, but also being able to be around nature.
As someone who's not a Native American, the dream was to come here and do art and be creative and do it at a high level and have it seen by everyone out there, and it's definitely coming true.
I just want to do what I love and be able to make a living off of that.
American dream is like free, like everybody free, and then everybody friendly.
The American dream was to just come to the United States for a better and greener pastures, and I did achieve that.
Everyone has a right to the American dream. Welcome, everybody. It is Wednesday. It is Hump Day. It is June 9th. My name is Brad Bernstein. And out in the universe, I got my co-host, Jonathan Yo-Yo Elias, Vanessa Nesquik Contreras. What's up?
Nothing much. Ooh, let me fix this a little bit.
Squat up, Yo-Yo and Vanessa. Squat up to both of you.
Squat up. How's it going?
I feel very, very good today. Very good.
Right.
Very nice. Very good. Right. I don't know what happens. My vibe, I woke up this morning all day. I'm skipping around. I got an extra beat to my beat.
Nice.
I can't tell you why. I don't know. Maybe
you shouldn't.
Maybe Venus and Mars are aligned for some reason. I don't know. I have no idea. Although they do say it is Hump Day. It's men are from Venus and women from Mars, or vice versa?
Yes.
Which way? No. Who's from where?
I thought men are from Mars and women are from Venus.
Yeah,
right?
I think so. Yeah, because it would be M&M, right? Men are from Mars, women are from Venus.
Yes.
Right. Venus being the hotter planet. Mars being the colder planet. Venus being the thinner planet. Mars being the wider planet.
Right.
I don't know what that analogy means, but better from...
I don't know either.
But you know what we're going to do is let's say hello to the squad. Let's get into our Hump Day show. Let's do it, guys. Chetty Manduri on Facebook. Squad up. Marlene Watt Russell saying hello. Pepe Samuel, a.k.a. Westman. What's going on? Squad up. Jessica Leamy. Squad up. Carol Anderson, the Tiger. Squad up. And Marge Higgs says it's a rainy day, a wet day, but it's also the best day to be humped. Okay, ooh, Marge, getting a little randy already.
She's bringing some competition to J. Rhymes.
Yeah, she is getting a little randy there. Natalie Haynes with a pre-comment of the day. I love this show. You are the boss, Brad. Thank you very much. I might have taken that from comment of the day, but we're already making it the pre-comment of the day. Jessica Leamy, Joelle Reed, also with a pre-comment of the day, guys. She says this startup song is 1 minute, is longer than a 1 minute plank. It is very true. We had to do more than a 1 minute startup there on that plank. If Jessica Leamy, by the way, is doing planks to our warm-up song, then she must have done about a 4 minute plank today. What do you think? Approximately?
Yeah.
Yeah. Stargirl Mika, squat up. She's saying something in patois. People are laughing. I don't know. Elizabeth Francis saying, squad up. How are you? Dion Reed, squad up. Goey Maxine saying, yes, squad up, family. Pizza in the comments. Sydney. Lisa Bling Rose joining us today. Terry Faith, squad up. Let's see what's going on YouTube, guys. Denise Johnson, squad up. Tali, she is our cheerleader on YouTube. She's getting everybody to give a thumbs up. Subscribe.
There we go.
There we go. There she is. She says, welcome everyone on YouTube. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and give us a thumbs up. The Top Cat, double fisting. I see you. And Susie Q. Susie Q. Cute name. Susie Q. Squad
That's
up from
a song,
Jamaica.
isn't it?
I think it is also. It's also a hostess dessert treat, a Susie Q.
Yes, it is.
Right?
Yes.
It's also a squatty from Jamaica. So it's a sweet dessert. It's a beautiful song. And a squatty from Jamaica. All wrapped up into one. It's Susie Q.
Yes.
All right. Why don't we take it away, guys, and let everyone know what's coming up.
Absolutely. Okay. All right, squad. Well, I need you guys to please remember to share because we're about to start schmoozing with Brad, talking headlines and immigration news, including details of a new report from the Biden administration's Reunification of Families Task Force, which is finding children separated from their parents under Donald Trump's zero tolerance policy.
And it's Wednesday, squad, so get ready for some Hump Day news. We'll find out about a new feature that's been released on a very popular dating app.
And you could always call Spar and Bernstein. The number scrolling on the bottom. It is the number to call to be on Brad Show Live, 1-800-529-5465. We have a bunch of people on hold. We still have a bunch of open lines. We're going to be answering your immigration questions after our schmooze. And if we don't get to your immigration questions by you calling that telephone number, 1-800-529-5465 that you see scrolling along your screen, we will be checking our social media as well for all your issues and problems. Yo-Yo and Vanessa will be asking me your questions. And later in the show, I'm going to speak to Rebecca and John Trimble about Rebecca's immigration status. She was adopted 30 years ago, but found out in 2012 as she was preparing to get married. Not only she's not an American citizen, she doesn't even have a green card. She's got nothing, but came here as a baby. Didn't know. Find out what happened. All right, you ready for some schmoozing with Brad?
Let's do it.
All right, let's start out with some immigration law in the schmooze. Why not, right?
Yes.
So immigration, they have updated their policies. We get these questions all the time, Yo-Yo and Vanessa. How do I expedite my work permit? And prior to June 9th today, the answer was, well, you have to show some humanitarian reason. And everyone's like, well, what's the humanitarian reason? Well, you know, we as lawyers know certain things that work and certain things that don't work. But the reality is immigration left it extraordinarily vague. Now they have made it very specific because people who have an application pending for their work permit are always calling the show and saying, how do I expedite it? What am I supposed to do? Well, immigration now has come out with a policy. If, I got the wrong paper here. Aha! Here it is. If you are going to lose your job, that is the reason to expedite your case. So, if you have a pending application for your work permit and you are about to lose your job because you can't get it extended or you can't get your work permission, what you do is you get a letter from your boss. We are going to fire this man. We are going to fire this lady. And that is a reason now, under immigration policy, it is written down, severe financial loss. And that is a reason now to apply for an expedited work permit. Because people always say, you know, it's 8 months, 9 months, 10 months. When am I going to get it? Now, what will not work, and they have written this down as well in their policy manual, is I'm looking for a job and I can't find one without a work permit. That will not work. So you looking for a job and can't find one without a work permit will not be a reason to expedite. You having a job and about to lose it is a reason now to expedite your case. Of course, they continue to use the humanitarian policies as well. So if you have some humanitarian reason And the humanitarian reason is generally you either have a huge medical bills that you have to pay, or you are the sole provider for a family and they're relying on you. Those are usually your humanitarian reasons. Okay? That doesn't mean they accept them all the time and you have to document it, but those are generally your good humanitarian reasons. I've heard of others, but those are the general good ones. But now they've added another one. I'm going to lose my job. That will expedite your work permit.
What do you think will be some, in your experience with these types of cases, what do you think will be some, for a lack of word, objections that may come up while processing?
What do you mean by objections? Well, like, if in other words, if you write a letter, says, I would like to expedite my work permit, I'm going to lose my job, denied. Get the letter from your employer, because the rule states severe financial loss to a company. So if the employer writes a letter, we are going to have a problem if we lose this employee, he's going to be fired or she will be fired, that is the letter you need to submit to immigration to expedite your work permit. If you're going to write a letter, I'm going to lose my job, they may believe you, they may not. So always get the letter from the employer. That would be the most surefire way. And it doesn't have to be a long letter. Let's say, Vanessa, you're applying for your work permit and you would come to me, your boss. I would write a letter, Dear Sir or Madam, please provide Nesquik with an expedited work permit because I will not allow her to work on our show any longer and she will be fired because she does not have permission to work in the United States of America. And that will be a severe financial loss to Bradshaw Live because people love Vanessa. That's one sentence letter. And then that would expedite, then I would hand that to you and you would get your expedited work permit. Lucky for you, Vanessa, you were born in the United States and you don't have these problems.
Oh, well, I was born in DR, but I've been a citizen.
You're right. You came as a baby.
She said, well, I was, ding, ding, ding.
But you are a U.S. citizen. I screwed up. Oh, man, I'm so sorry. All right.
A lot of story, okay?
What?
In my roots.
What?
I take a pride in my roots.
I'm sorry about that. So that is now a new policy by immigration. The other policy, work permit policy, by the way, that they added, is when you're filing for your adjustment now, and you file for your adjustment status, you get married, instead of getting a 1-year work permit, they're going to be issuing 2-year work permits. So people who are filing for adjustment of status for their green cards through marriage moving forward are now going to get 2-year work permits, not 1 year. So you won't have to worry about going back to try to renew your work permit for the 2nd year. And probably the reason for that is that they probably recognize now that adjustment applications are going to take over a year anyways. Now, if you are renewing your work permit, they're still only going to do it in 1-year increments, but the initial work permit is going to come out in 2-year increments. That is the work permit update from Bradshaw Live. Meanwhile, a new report from the Reunification of Families Task Force found that still 3,913 children separated by Donald Trump, separated by the pumpkin, between July 2017 to January 21, still missing. The task force determined 5,636 children were separated. 3,900 were separated under zero policies. 1,720 whose separations are still under review. DHS officials said non-governmental organizations helped 1,779 children reunite with their parents in the U.S. under court orders, but we are still missing, children are still missing parents. 3,913, that's unbelievable.
That's horrible.
Yes. Meanwhile, the report detailed errors in record keeping under the Trump administration, including incorrect dates and names, The task force found that some children had been matched even to wrong adults. So when the children got separated from the parents, they didn't even write down the real names of the parents, the correct names.
Wow.
Can you imagine how negligent that is? That you separate a child from a parent and you don't even consider, or
That's so wild.
I mean, that nobody even cares to write down the right names of what child goes with what parent? How negligent they were? How uncaring?
That's how you know they really didn't care.
That's,
and
I mean,
give a
how
crap.
how, you know, I mean, that's beyond negligent. That's just disgusting. You take a child away from a parent, and then you can't even take 5 seconds out of your life to make sure that you get the parent's information correct to reunite that child with a parent in the future.
You know, and that at that point,
It's 5
at that
seconds
point,
of your life to write someone's name down properly.
At that point, you're doing it on purpose. You want this to happen. You want them to not be able to be reconnected with their family. Like it has to be. Like,
Yeah.
I don't understand. If it takes 5 seconds to do that, you can literally save this child's life and reconnect them with their parents after everything is done. That's crazy.
How long does it take to write your name, Jonathan? 5 seconds? 10 seconds?
5 seconds.
20 seconds if you have to ask for a spelling? Y-O.
I spell it fast and you can write it fast.
Right?
That's sad.
Meanwhile, the United States has more than 33.5 million confirmed coronavirus cases worldwide, more than 174 million cases. Today, the Biden administration said the highly transmissible Delta variant now makes up 6% of the infections in the United States. But they are still saying that the vaccines that we've taken here in the U.S. will still fight off that Delta variant. India's daily coronavirus infections have dropped below 100,000 for the first time in 2 months. So apparently India is doing a little better. Now, it's been reported late in the afternoon here that the Biden administration is going to purchase 500 million doses of the Pfizer vaccine and give it away to third world countries or other countries that can't afford the vaccine over the next 12 months. Now, this is a big step toward making the United States a major global vaccine supplier and comes as Biden is leaving for Europe. The administration has already said that Biden's going to press other rich democracies to share the doses, including at the G7 on June 11th to June 13th. Now, it's come out that of all of, there's also the Chinese vaccine and a Russian vaccine, but apparently, based on news reports, those vaccines are not doing as well against protecting people as the American ones, the Pfizer, the Moderna, and the Johnson & Johnson. So right now, most of the world is requesting those over the Chinese and the Russian ones. You ready for Hump Day? We started late. Let's get right into Hump Day, right?
Let's do it.
Those camels were ready to go.
It's
They've
hump
been
day.
ready.
Yeah. All right.
It's hump day.
So in Philadelphia today, guys, this year's Philadelphia Naked Bike Ride scheduled to return August 28th. Who's going to be there?
Not
Vanessa?
me.
Vanessa, you going to ride naked through Philadelphia?
I don't know. That sounds like a job for Yo-Yo.
Now, let me tell you a little bit about this Philadelphia Naked Bike Ride, and you'll decide who's going to go. We need a volunteer, okay? I, myself, would volunteer to do it, but since I've had a bunch of knee surgeries, my doctors told me I can't ride a bicycle anymore.
That's way too many
wink,
people for
wink,
me.
wink, wink. So that leaves it, unfortunately, because of my disability, that leaves it up to one of you two. So let me tell you what's involved. This year's participants are going to ditch their clothes, and they're going to ride as long as they follow the mask guidelines, which was put in place before the city this week lifted most of its coronavirus restrictions. Organizers says they haven't met since the city updated its guidance, so for now, they're going to stick with the mask. So Vanessa and Yo-Yo, you will be naked, but nobody will know it's you because you still have to wear a mask. and you're going to ride 10 miles naked. Why is that exciting to people to do?
Golly,
That sounds like
10 miles is a lot.
10
too.
miles. 10 miles on a bike seat naked sounds painful to me.
Definitely.
That does not sound freeing or sexy or whatever you want to call it when you want to ride a bike naked. That just sounds like ouch.
Yeah.
Unless you have
Ouch.
and a sick tan.
Yeah. You know, it kind of
I would be here for the 10.
you know,
I like that.
it kind of reminds me of something really important that we should mention to these organizers. You know, they made shorts especially for bike riding for a reason. They're called bike shorts, right?
Yeah, right. Could
Right.
you imagine? It's probably some extra padding. Oh my goodness, look at the picture.
What?
Their butts all out.
That just sounds,
Crazy.
you know what? And then you got the sweat dripping down your naked body on a bicycle.
And it's blinding your
ugh.
skin, your
Uh,
feet,
all
your
right.
stomach.
All right.
I'm good.
I was about to
Okay.
say, okay, I'll do it. But then after I think about it, there's no way in heck I'm going to do this.
Yeah.
Now, the Naked Ride was launched to promote body positivity, advocate for the safety of cyclists, and protest dependence on fossil fuels. If anybody from Brad Squad is participating in the Philly Naked Bike Ride, let us know. Send us pictures and a video. But from the neck up.
We would
But
love
from the
to
neck
see
up.
that.
But from the neck up.
From the neck up.
From the neck up only. All right.
Right.
Meanwhile, Tinder, ever embarrassingly, on Tinder, for those who are on Tinder.
Oh, yeah, I want to hear.
All right. Have you ever come across a colleague or an ex on Tinder and think to yourself, did that really just happen?
An ex?
Or a colleague you work with. You're like,
Not
oh
a colleague, but
my
my
God, they work at Smart Bernstein. Why are they on Tinder?
Not a colleague, but my ex for sure.
Really?
I did.
So what's the new feature?
Well, this
There's a new
week,
feature?
yeah. Well, this week, I once had an ex when I was on Tinder call me up and said, "I saw you're on Tinder. I heard you're on Tinder again." I go, "Well, then obviously you're on Tinder too." "No, my friend saw you." I'm like, "Yeah, right." You know, it's like,
Wow.
well, let's see. That's the closest I've ever come to that situation.
Okay.
All right. Well, this week, the Tinder dating app is now fixing this problem. Tinder is introducing the block your contacts feature, and it's going to allow users to block all the contacts in your phone. So Bernadette Morgan, the company's group product manager for trust and safety, said, "We may not be able to save you from the awkward run-ins at the coffee shop, but we are giving you more control over your experience on Tinder. We're rolling out Block the Contacts." So in profile settings, Tinder users can input the contacts they want to avoid. Oh, you don't have to even block all of them. You can put in the ones you want. And this feature is launching just in time. This is uncuffing season.
This is uncuffing season.
This is uncuffing season.
Hot girl and hot boy summer.
This is hot girl, hot boy summer. And then when does cuffing start? Around Thanksgiving? Fall.
Yes.
But I remember you said...
late October, Halloween, Halloween party.
I remember having this discussion with Jonathan, and it was around Halloween. He said, "No, I'm still uncuffing. Jonathan's cuffing season doesn't stop until after Thanksgiving."
Mid-November.
Yeah, Jonathan says he starts cuffing season right with the pre-Christmas sales after Thanksgiving. He knows that's when he needs to start. There's a sale at the department store. It's uncuffing season.
There you go. That's it.
That's how he does it. So this is. I'm sorry. That's cuffing season. This is uncuffing season.
This is uncuffing season.
You're uncuffed.
Uncuffed starts like spring.
Really?
Like right when spring starts.
But what if you're in a real relationship with somebody? Don't you want to stay with them or no?
Then cuffing and uncuffing doesn't matter. Doesn't relate to you. That doesn't. No.
Because
Yeah,
you're literally
you're
always.
Yes, if you're in a relationship, you should stay cuffed.
Stay cuffed.
Okay.
So
this is just single people.
These
we're
are
talking about.
single people who kind of have like a friends with benefits type of thing for the winter.
Yeah.
That you kind of cuff with your friends.
Yeah.
And your colleagues.
You're getting it. You're
Right.
getting it.
I'm getting
There
it
you
now.
go.
And now it's springtime, and I'm like, all right, I'm going to the beach. I'm going to have fun. Weather's
There you
nice.
go.
Who are
I'm
you?
gonna,
Right?
kinda
Who are
do
you?
panicking
What?
Spring.
What? How come you didn't answer the phone
don't-
last night?
listen,
I don't know. Why?
I know you've heard. You don't bring sand to the beach.
Literally.
By the way, according to reports, I don't know where this survey came from. It's where did this come from? Number 9, Jill. In the survey, some survey somewhere, 63% of respondents noted that summer was indeed the best time to be uncuffed. The feature was also conveniently dropped under the Great Uncuffing of 2021. Over half of Gen Z respondents cut ties with their partners. Did you know? This was a Tinder. This was a Tinder survey. Do you know that half of Gen Z, according to Tinder, dropped their partners in 2021? They're calling it the Great Uncuffing.
Damn.
The great uncuffing.
The Great Uncuffing. That's what Tinder's calling it. Did you ever hear this? Did you know? Are all your friends breaking up? Everybody's going their own way? They're like, you know what? The pandemic's over. We got the memo. Everyone's vaccinated. It'll be a fun summer. I'm not going to be cuffed. It's the Great
Oh,
Uncuffing.
that's unfortunate. That's unfortunate.
That's unfortunate for those who got uncuffed, but fortunate for Yo-Yo, who's out on the prowl.
Rawr.
Now,
Monday feature.
let's see what else is happening here. All right. A woman who works for Lilo, which sells a number of different sex toys, recently shared some of the strangest questions customers have ever asked. I wonder what kind of strange questions you would get doing customer service at a sex toy company. Stella, she is a member of the customer care team at Lilo, opened up about the weird and wonderful questions she's asked every day, many of which are highlighted in Lilo's new book, The Diary of a Sex Toy Tester. The book is available for free with every Lilo purchase. Now, according to Stella, we've had unsuspecting husbands think our Lilo Smart Wand massager is a blender, and even some tried to use them.
What?
How stupid can you be to take a vibrator and make it and think it's a blender? Come on.
I'm confused.
Come on. Some concerned customers fear they were going to become addicted to our products. They've had a lot of people call up, will I be addicted to this? She can.
Wow, that's a serious inquiry. They have that in their frequently asked questions.
We've also had guys looking to buy a toy for their girlfriend, but unsure sizes and how to use them. So we had to. So they were asking whether there was a conversion chart between the size of their penis and our toys. What?
Oh, wow. Quite an inquiry.
Quite inquiries. All right. We could go on and on. Is there any other inquiry? I mean, let's go on. Now, Stella claims many of the most asked questions. All right, Stella asked, for me, the best one I've received was from a lady who wanted to know about our privacy policy. It seems that she had received our newsletter with the subject line, so you just had sex, right after having sex, and was convinced we were listening to her through our toys.
Oh, Lord.
All right. So,
I mean, I don't want to say the girl's name, but the girl that starts with the A, if I say it, she'll be listening. But, sometimes I be thinking that she listens to some of my conversations, because out of nowhere, stuff will be popping up like online or on my phone or, something. So you never know.
You think Alexa's listening?
She might be. I can't say it. If you say it loud enough, she'll be listening. I always look at her. She's scary.
I want you to know Jeff Bezos wants to know what's going on in that apartment. If nobody can storm that apartment, at least he's going to hear what's going on in there, right?
I feel like I'll be part of his entertainment while he's going up to space with his brother.
All right, and finally, By the way, and finally, this customer service woman says, I'm probably one of a few people who are happy to take their work home with them, and I get to spread the joy and share it with my boyfriend. All right. Let's see. All right, let's talk about Dr. Ruth. She's 90 years old. She's the renowned sex therapist. Yes. Author, media personality, Holocaust orphan. You know, she survived the Holocaust. And one time, she was also a sniper for the Haggadah. Is it the Haggadah? The Haggadah, which was the army pre-state Israel in what is now Israel and Palestine. She was a sniper. So she turns 93, and she's been living in New York for more than 60 years. The story of her life has been turned into a one-woman play, Becoming Dr. Ruth. She's 4'7" and has lived in Washington Heights for almost her entire life.
What?
Yeah, she said that her experience of having been an orphan makes her stand up and be counted to tell people to be grateful to be alive and to make something positive out of your life. You know who Dr. Ruth is, right?
Of course I know who Dr.
Yeah, everyone knows who Dr. Ruth is. When asked how she became she was asked how she became a sex therapist, and she said, I realized I did not know enough, and I just wanted people to know about contraception and sexually transmitted diseases. My late husband was very supportive of my career. He went with me to NBC every Sunday night for 10 years when I did my Sexually Speaking program. I didn't know I would become so famous, but I wanted to do something to help strengthen family life. And she said, she said strangers still come up to her and ask her for sex advice. And she says, I'll go with them to a corner and answer it if I can, or suggest a psychiatrist or medical specialist. There's no such thing as a quick fix. People have to become much more sexually literate. There's still a lot of things to know about and to learn about, and that's for my next book. She's writing a new book.
Wow.
Yeah, and she was asked if 90-year-olds should still have sex. And she said, if they have a good partner, they should have sex. If you don't have a partner, they should satisfy themselves, period. No age limit.
You know what? Honestly, I feel that.
No age limit.
So Dr. Ruth is still doing the do.
Still doing the do.
She just might be, and so what if she is, you know?
And that's why she got that smile on her face.
All right.
Do the do. Do the do.
So that is our hump day and our schmooze for the day. We're gonna get into our braducation, guys. But before we get into our braducation, why did I get so low? Or am I just bending down? I'm bending down. Okay, so I gotta sit up. Somebody tell me when I'm bending down. Sit up. Be more straight. There you go.
Yes,
tell Yo-Yo and Vanessa too. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I had to just do that.
This is much better now, right? I'm like, I was like this. I'm like,
I know. I do that too.
I'm like, Dr. Ruth was, and I'm like, I look like the Hunchback of Notre Dame. Come on, someone tell me. Yeah. Now I'm much better, right?
Better.
Yeah. All right. So, according to the New American Economy, a national bipartisan immigration research organization, immigrants tend to be more entrepreneurial than the rest of the United States population. In 2019, immigrant entrepreneurs made up 21% of all business owners in the United States, despite making up only 13% of the population and 17% of the U.S. labor force. So for all our entrepreneurial viewers out there in today's braducation, I talk about incorporating a business and the decision makers that need to be listed in the articles of incorporation. Let's watch. My goal is straightforward: to make the law usable and easy to understand for everyone. All of us in the United States have equal rights and should have an equal opportunity and a right to justice. I'm here to help because I want everybody to achieve their American dream. I'm Brad Bernstein, and this is your Incorporation Braducation. I'm not here to tell you what you'll want to know. I'm here to tell you what you need to know. My objective is to make the law easy for you to understand so that you can use the justice system, know your rights, take advantage of the law, and achieve your American dream. For many entrepreneurs, incorporating a business is the best way to protect themselves and their owners and shareholders from personal liability for the business's actions and debts. So is a corporation right for you? Well, there are pros and cons to forming a corporation. The most common pro is that incorporating a business limits your personal liability for business obligations, meaning you protect your assets, such as your home or vehicles. Another pro is that a corporation's ownership is contained in shares that are easy to transfer from one owner to another. And unlike a sole proprietorship or general partnership, you can pass your corporation on to someone else if something happens to you, unless you decide to have the corporation dissolve upon your death. Now, here are the cons to incorporating. It costs money to set up and dissolve a corporation, and corporations have additional record keeping and annual reporting requirements that sole proprietorships and partnerships just don't have. Another important thing to check before deciding to incorporate is how it will affect your taxes. If after you've considered the pros and cons and you decided to incorporate, you'll need to prepare articles of incorporation and file them with the state. Each state has its own rules about how to incorporate, but here's some basic information you're going to need. Number one, you will need your business name. Now, rules about businesses' names vary, but most include these general guidelines. Your business name must be different from the name of any other business entity registered to do business in your state. There are also restrictions on certain words in a business name. And your business name must end with incorporated, company, corporation, or an abbreviation of one of those words. You need a business address. Your articles of incorporation must also list the names of some of your decision makers. There are two types of decision makers you will probably have to identify: incorporators and directors. In all states, the articles of incorporation must list the names of one or more incorporators. An incorporator is a person responsible for preparing, signing, and filing the articles of incorporation. Incorporators' duties typically end once the articles are filed and a board of directors is chosen. Some states require a list of the corporation's board of directors. The board of directors is responsible for setting corporate goals and policies and naming officers to conduct the corporation's day-to-day business. In a small business, the board of directors is usually made up of the business owners. Each state laws set a minimum number of board directors, usually 1 to 3, and they do not have to be shareholders in the business. All right, let's get to our immigration questions. You got a question? I've got an answer for you. All right, let's go to Raya in Brooklyn. Raya.
Hi.
Hi, Raya. How are you?
I'm okay. How are you?
Good.
All right. So I have a pending VAWA case. I submitted the paperwork in January, and they were filed in April. My husband doesn't know that I'm filing the case. I haven't received a pending or processing letters yet. However, he and I have been together for a few years now, and we have a child together. I did leave our matrimonial home a little over a month ago based on his request.
Right.
However, he has recently apologized, and I guess he's trying to see if we could work things out. And he offered to see if we could go to marriage counseling. But my question to you is, if it is that I go to marriage counseling, would that affect my case in any way, whether now or later on, since I haven't gotten anything yet?
No, you can go to marriage counseling, and if you and your husband choose to work things out and you're willing to forgive him for the abuse that he has, perpetrated on you, and you feel safe in the household, you can go back to him. That's your prerogative. You're an adult. You would then withdraw your VAWA case, and he would file a new adjustment application for you, and that's what would happen. And if you go for marriage counseling and it doesn't work out, it doesn't change the fact that you were abused.
Okay, so you think in the meantime I should still keep my case definitely going
Correct.
since I haven't received anything yet.
Correct.
And I don't know what's going to happen, you know,
Correct.
going to marriage counseling.
Correct.
Okay.
All right?
All right. Yeah, thank you very
You're welcome.
much.
Good luck. All right, let's go to Elaine in the Bronx. Elaine.
Yeah, hi, Brad.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. Okay, so I'm asking this question on behalf of my American citizen son-in-law, right?
Right.
So he filed for the children, 2 children under 18 that lived in Jamaica. They were born in Jamaica, right? So the I-130 was approved, but he had to do a DNA test because he signed the birth certificate 10 years after birth. The DNA came back that he's the father of the kids. So the question is, does he still have to wait on the visa center to call them, or they could come up some way without going to the visa center?
What do you mean by go through the visa center?
Because the case was sent to the visa center. And so I'm asking, because the DNA came back that he's the father of the kids.
Wait. You have an approved I-130 visa petition.
Yeah.
Okay, and he went for an interview? Who went for an interview?
No, the kids went, the father is an American citizen. The kids are under 18 in Jamaica.
Okay.
They're 12 and 13.
And they went for an interview in Jamaica?
No, they went to they went to the embassy and they paid the money at the hospital and went to the embassy to do the DNA test.
All right, so all that happened so far was an I-130 visa petition.
Yeah, and so the DNA test, and they send it to
All right. I didn't understand the explanation. The father filed an I-130 visa petition for the children.
Right.
The Immigration Service, USCIS, requested a DNA test.
Right.
You do the DNA test. The father pricks his finger in America. The children do it in Jamaica. You do it through the U.S. Embassy. It then gets sent to USCIS. They have to approve an I-130 visa petition.
Right.
Once the I-130 visa petition is approved, it goes to the National Visa Center to do the affidavits of support. It was never at the National Visa Center ever. Maybe the National Benefits Center, which is USCIS. That's why I was getting confused. Once the I-130 is approved, it goes to the National Visa Center. You have to do the affidavits of support and complete the case. There's no way, just because the kids took a blood test, that now they could just magically come to America. You still got to go through the process.
Oh, still got to go through. They still have to wait on the visa center.
Correct. Yes.
Submit documents and
Yes.
wait on the same date, right?
Correct.
Oh, because somebody said because they proved to be his kids, they could just come up. I was like,
No. How? You still need a green card. You got to go through the process. And there's other reasons, and there's other reasons to deny. You know, maybe there's no good affidavit of support. I don't know. So
but the kids have to do affidavit of support even though they're his biological children?
Well, if he's a U.S. citizen, actually, and they're under 21 and they're under 18, you don't need an affidavit of support because when they arrive in America, they're going to be automatic U.S. citizens. So actually, I take that back. You don't need the affidavit of support.
Okay, but they still have to go through the visa center.
Through the
That's
process,
the question,
yes.
really.
Right, unless they were born when the father was already a U.S. citizen.
No, they were born before.
Okay, so then you have to go through the whole process.
Okay, good. That's the question. Thank you so much.
Okay. Bye-bye.
All right.
Let's go to Dwayne in Tampa. Dwayne.
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How you doing?
Good. What's going on?
I'm good. I have a question. I know the current administration come up with a called prosecutorial discretion. If you are in a removal proceeding, what benefit? How can it help you?
If you have no relief from deportation, or it looks like you're going to lose your deportation case, yet you can show significant ties, and it would be a humanitarian issue for you to be separated from your family, or you've been here for such a long period of time, it would be unfair to send you back to a country you don't know anything about, even though you look like you're going to lose your deportation case, so you don't have relief. What they would do is, as another possibility, instead of ordering you deported and sending you home, as another possibility, they would give you the prosecutorial discretion, which basically stops your deportation in its tracks. It doesn't take you out of deportation. It doesn't make you legal. What they say is, we're just not going to complete the deportation case.
Oh, okay. Well, what happened is my I-130 and everything is approved, but I still got to wait on the court date. I don't get the court date as yet. But how can I motion to reopen, and how long would it take if I do a motion to reopen?
Well, I don't know what's going on with your case, because you said two different things that make no sense to me. If you're waiting on a court date, you don't need a motion to reopen. That means you have a case processing. If you need one second. If you need a motion to reopen, that means you've already been ordered deported.
Oh no, none of that. What I was trying to say is if that can move the process faster, so I can get a court date with the judge.
It's called a motion to recalendar.
Calendar,
yes.
correct. That's what I
All
should
right,
say.
so yeah, hold on. We'll help you. Hold on one second. Let's go to Henry in Houston.
Yes.
Hi.
Good evening. Yes, I have a question. I'm planning to travel to Nigeria by the early week of August. But then, I applied the VAWA case, and it's been they have given me a prima facie or whatever they call it, prima facie.
Yes.
Okay, so yeah, so and they already approved my my I-131 and also work permit. So and but I was put on deportation. They sent me a notice to appear. That was last year around was it November or so. So and since then I've been calling the court at Dallas to see if they have fixed the date. But they said they always tell me that the immigration have not filed the case.
I don't understand. You're breaking up, so I don't hear what you're saying. You filed the VAWA case,
hold on, one second.
Yeah.
1 second. Can you hear me now?
Now I hear you better. Start again.
Yeah, so I said I have the deportation case.
Right, you filed the VAWA. I heard that.
Yes, and I filed the VAWA. Already giving me prima facie.
You got a prima facie. You have a prima facie.
Yes.
Tell me what your question is, because so far we've been talking for several minutes and I don't know what your problem is. So tell me what your problem is.
Yes, I plan to travel to Nigeria by August.
Well, you're in deportation, so if you travel to Nigeria, then you've self-deported. Why would you do that? Aren't you? Didn't you just tell me you're in deportation, or maybe I misunderstood that part too?
Yes, they send me. I have notice to appear at Dallas Immigration Court.
Okay, so if you have a notice to appear and you leave, you self-deported. Why are you leaving?
Okay, so I can use my bank parole to travel and come back?
No, you have a notice to appear. You're in deportation.
But
what don't you understand? You are in deportation. They want to throw you out of the United States. If you get on a plane, they'll say, thanks for doing our job.
I see.
All right, hold on.
Okay, one more question. But I've been trying to call the Dallas immigration, but they always tell me that immigration does not have a case against me. Why is that?
I have no idea. You just told me that you have a notice to appear.
Yeah, that was since last year, and I've been calling them to see if they fixed the date, but they said that immigration has not.
Well, maybe what they're saying to you is that they haven't filed it with the court yet.
Yes, that's what they. Yeah, that's what they said.
So you have to wait for them to file it with the court. Because you know what'll happen. You know what'll happen is you'll travel. They'll either give you a summary exclusion. They could possibly parole you into the country, or they may just hold you in jail waiting your deportation case. Why would you take those chances? Because you want to go to do what you want. Because those are the three options they have at the airport. You self-deported, get out of here. Okay, you're at the airport. You try to come back. When you're in deportation, we'll hold you in jail. Maybe we'll give you bonds. Maybe we won't. Or 3, we'll parole you in. But you're taking chances at this point.
Isn't it?
All right, hold on. You need help. Let's go to Abdi in Madison, Wisconsin.
Yes, sir. Good evening.
Good evening. How are you?
Good. Yeah, USCIS is scheduled for a biometric appointment.
What about USCIS?
USCIS is scheduled my biometric appointment.
They captured it? What do you mean captured it?
No, they scheduled my appointment for a biometric.
Say that word one more time. Canceled it?
They scheduled for my appointment for biometric for fingerprint.
Scheduled it.
Yeah.
What about scheduling the biometric?
For US citizen.
What is your question?
Can I make before my appointment?
Make what?
Can I make fingerprint before my appointment?
No. You need to get scheduled for a biometric first. You can't just show up and say, hi, I'm here. Let them schedule it. Hold on. Let's go to Kevin in Brooklyn.
Hey, Brad. So my question, I've been I've been a green card holder for 9.5 years, and I've recently got charged with a domestic issue with my my ex, and I got a lawyer, and the lawyer said that the best he can do for me was he can get the charges dropped to a disorderly person.
Okay.
So my question to you is, if or whenever I applied for my citizenship, will this affect me in the future?
Yes, but disorderly conduct, let's talk about what it affects and what it doesn't affect. How you could be really affected is if you were found guilty of an assault in a domestic situation. It's domestic violence, it's deportable. So luckily, that's not what's happening here. What's happening here is a disorderly conduct, which is a violation. It's not criminal conduct. As a result, you can travel, you can renew your green card, you're not a deportable alien, you're not inadmissible. When you go to apply for your citizenship, you need to prove 5 years good moral character. The fact that you have a disorderly conduct and the initial charge was a domestic violence may affect good moral character. So it's possible that it may delay your citizenship for 5 years. It's possible it may not, but it certainly affects good moral character. It doesn't affect you getting deported or anything like that. So the worst case scenario is that you would have to wait 5 years to become a citizen. Best case scenario is it doesn't affect good moral character and you can do citizenship tomorrow. The good news is you're not getting deported.
Okay, so one more question. So basically, when I get my disposition and I, end it in, will they see on my disposition say that, I was charged for a domestic assault and then it got, knocked down for a disorderly person? How would that process be for me?
You get a disposition, and it will say you were charged with an assault, and it got reduced to a disorderly conduct. And it's possible that immigration will ask for more documentation from the court or the police to see exactly what were the facts surrounding this particular charge of an assault. And that's where they would see it was domestic violence.
Okay. But I don't have to worry about being deported or anything like that.
Correct.
Okay. Thank you very
You're
much.
welcome. Let's go to John in Boston. John.
Hey,
how
Brad,
are you?
How you doing?
Good.
Yeah, I'm good.
Good.
Yeah, quick question. I recently get an approved I-130 approved for my son, but when I did it, he was in Jamaica, but now he's here. So what can I do? Should I change it to here?
How did he come here?
He come here on a visa.
And how old is he?
I'm 14.
And are you a citizen or a resident?
No, I'm a resident.
Okay, and how long has he been in the United States?
He was there from last year, July.
So he's out of status already? So he's out of status?
Yeah, he's out of status, yeah.
Okay, where's the mother?
She's in Jamaica.
All right, so you would have two choices. You can, one, well actually you only have one, you could wait until you become a citizen, and then he can adjust his status here, or you can continue with the case. He would have to go home to Jamaica, pick up his green card, and come back.
Okay.
Because he's overstayed his time, so you can't do it here now, unless you become a citizen.
Yeah, but I already put it in though. Like I already submitted it like a month ago, so it's in process.
What did you put in?
My citizenship.
Okay, so then wait on your citizenship, and then you'll file his adjustment here.
Okay.
All right. At that point, you might as well do that. All right.
Okay.
All right. Good luck.
Goodbye.
Let's go to Mario in Jefferson City, Missouri. Mario.
Hi, Brad.
Hi. How are you?
How's it going? It's going good. I followed your advice. I'm an F1 student, and my wife was a green card holder at the time. And I waited over a year for my I-130 to be approved, and you told me I could go ahead and apply for the adjustment. And I did just that. Now, I got a confirmation, a receipt notice that the work authorization and green card processing and those have been received.
Right.
However, I just graduated from college, and I was here wondering. Well, my wife, she recently became a citizen as well. So I'm wondering if I still need to stay in school until these get approved, or what should I do?
Once you file your adjustment application, you don't have to stay in school anymore.
Okay.
All right.
All right. And do you know how long these would take for me to get an interview date?
Your interview is going to be over a year. Your work permit should be in about 6 to 8 months.
Okay. Final question. For that interview, do we need to get her name on the lease because we share property?
You need to prove you live together, and you need to prove that you have a financial relationship. So, getting a name on a lease is some proof of living together. If you don't have her name on the lease, that doesn't mean you don't live together.
Okay.
So, prove you live together, prove you have a financial relationship. So when you say, do I have to? You don't have to do anything. There's a lot of ways to prove you live together. There's a lot of ways to prove you have a financial relationship. Having a name on a lease is one way to do it.
Okay.
All right?
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome. Let's go to Joan in Atlanta. Joan. Let's go to Samantha in Queens. Samantha.
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
Hi, Brad. How are you?
Good. What's going on?
Yeah, I have a question. It's a two-part question. My daughter is a green card holder, and we just wanted to know if she applies for like a New York State benefit, if it will affect her petition when she's ready to petition for me, if it would have prevent me from getting a green card.
What is the New York State benefit?
The emergency rental assistance.
If it's Section 8, it could be a possibility. I'm not sure what emergency rental assistance is from New York City, and who qualifies for it. So I honestly don't know the answer what it is. But they look at the totality of circumstances. So if she gets emergency rental assistance now and that assists her, wonderful. She's a green card holder at the moment, so she's not even. She can't even.
Yeah, she's gonna be putting her citizenship sometime in July.
Okay, so she's gonna put her citizenship in July. She won't be a citizen until next July. Hopefully by then she's not accepting by next July emergency rental assistance. I wouldn't worry about it right now. If she needs it, let her get it. Wait till she's a citizen and then call me back and have this discussion.
Oh, okay.
All right?
Okay.
All right?
All right.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're
and
welcome.
it wouldn't affect her citizenship application as well?
No, it doesn't affect your citizenship for sure.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
All right. Thank you,
You're
Brad.
welcome.
Bye.
All right, and if you didn't get a chance to ask me your immigration questions, you could always follow me on Instagram at Real Brad Bernstein. Drop me a DM. I'll be happy to answer your questions. You can also follow us at Brad Show Live. You can't handle 2 hours, but 2 minutes. Best place is at Brad Show Live on Instagram. Also follow us on TikTok. You love our speed rounds. That's where you're going to find them all on TikTok at Brad Show Live. And Yo-Yo and Vanessa.
Yes, you guys can follow me at Jonathan Elias TV on Instagram.
And you can find me at Vanessa.ContrerasTV.
And later in the show, I'm going to speak with Rebecca and John Trimble, who found out as they were preparing for their wedding that Rebecca's not a U.S. citizen.
And in today's close-up, Spar and Bernstein partner and immigration attorney Shannon Legrier-Mengret explains what a Stokes interview is.
A Stokes interview basically is a marriage interview where the officer separates you. And in New York, they are kind enough to actually give you a heads up. So you'll go into an initial marriage interview. They'll question the both of you just like we just talked about. And at that point, if the officer is uncomfortable and doesn't feel like they can grant it, they will then send you another interview notice for a Stokes interview where they will separate you. In other jurisdictions, you should go in there prepared for them to separate you. So many times, like in Alabama, in Florida, they will separate New Jersey. As soon as you walk in, they're separating you. So you should be prepared for that. They separate you, they ask you a series of questions. It can be anywhere from 30 minutes all the way up to 2 hours. I think the longest Stokes interview I had was 3.5 hours. It was over literally 320 questions. So normally what I'm doing when I'm sitting in the interview is I'm writing down all the questions and responses, because the way it works is that they'll ask one spouse a series of questions, and then that person will step out. The second spouse will come in and they'll ask the same questions again. Then both will come in front of the officer and they'll basically look at the answers. And if there were any discrepancies, then at that point they need to address it.
All right, let's do something we like to call social media check-in.
All right, squad. Well, before we get into this, I need to talk to everybody who's on YouTube because we forgot to say this earlier. I need you guys to make sure you subscribe, all right? Anybody and everybody that's watching on YouTube, I need you to subscribe. If you're not subscribed right now and you don't have your notifications on, you won't know when we come on for a pop-up. And tell your friends and family to subscribe as well, all right? And also, for everybody who wants to become a VIP member on Facebook, all you have to do is go on Facebook, put in the search engine VIP or Brad Squad, and the VIP page will pop up. You have to join it. It's a button that says join request, and then we will accept it. So you can throw in your questions anytime throughout the day. We'll take the first 5 questions, all right? And here they are. Martin Alician saying, how long can a green card holder stay out of the country?
Up to 6 months, but caveats. You have to be in the United States more than out of the United States. So if you're going to go 5 months out of the country, 2 days here, 5 months out, 2 days here in America, another 5 months out, at some point in the airport, they're going to say, you're not living in the United States. So my answer is, for one trip, no more than 6 months. For multiple trips, you better start figuring out if you're in the U.S. more than out of the U.S.
Rita Brada Shaha, another Brad Squad VIP member. How much money do I need to file a mandamus, and how long does it take for USCIS to process the request?
Mandamus, there's a filing fee in federal government for the court. I think it's $350. How much is a legal fee? You need to speak to a lawyer.
Adapetian Janet Oluwasesion, Brad Squad VIP member. I have submitted an RFE response to my lawyer. He mailed it 2 weeks ago. I haven't received any response from USCIS. How long does it take for USCIS to receive a mailed RFE? And how much longer can we wait if the deadline for the response is in 2 weeks?
Well, if you already mailed it, you got to assume that the post office delivered it. Okay, now you may not hear back from immigration for at least 4 months on it, 5 months, but you got to assume that it's been delivered by the post office. Post office delivers things in a few days. What I normally do is I send everything either certified mail or overnight mail so it can be tracked.
Nicole Hernandez, another Brad Squad VIP member. My green card expired April 24th of 2020. I submitted my application to remove my conditions, but it was sent back due to improper filing as the money order was incorrectly addressed. I received a notice on May 6th that they received my request and removed conditions. Can I complete my N400 now, or do I have to wait?
No, you're approved. Go do your N400 now.
Rosalie Smith, a Brad Squad VIP member. I'm living in Jamaica. My mother filed for me and I submitted all my documents to NVC in November 2020. Can a lawyer help to make things go along faster, or should I just wait to hear from the embassy?
Lawyers can help make things go faster.
Ronald Hardman on YouTube. My permanent residence case was denied in 2018. We then sent in an appeal in 2014. As of now, we have not heard back from the BIA, even though they say they have the appeal. What can I do?
Since 2014, he has a pending appeal at the BIA. You should go speak to a lawyer.
2018.
Even since 2018, that's 3 years. Well, first of all, if you're, what is he appealing at the BIA?
My permanent residence case was denied.
I would have a lawyer review all of this. Perhaps you would want to refile again rather than wait on the BIA for years and years and years. And it's probably at the AAU. Two more.
Okay, Stargirl Mika on Facebook. Will I get a 2-year work permit instead of a 1 year? I recently sent in my EAD renewal.
You'll get 1 year because on renewals they're doing 1. On initials they're doing 2.
Danny Bay on Facebook. What will happen to F1 students that sent in their application for OPT concerning the new work permit rules?
Still going to get 1 year because the OPT is only for 1 year. All right, so I had recently spoke with Rebecca and John Trimble, a married couple, who found out as they were preparing for their wedding that Rebecca, who was adopted as an infant over 30 years ago, is not an American citizen or even a resident. We discussed their situation. Let's watch. I'm here today with Rebecca Trimble. She was adopted as an infant in 1989. She grew up in the Pacific Northwest and considered herself a regular, all-American girl. But over 2 decades later, as she prepared for her honeymoon, her life was turned upside down when she came to the realization that not only is she not an American citizen, but the government says she doesn't even belong in the United States at all. Joining me from Bethel, Alaska, is Rebecca and her husband, John, to discuss her situation, how this happened, and their fight to keep her in the country. Welcome. Where, Rebecca, did you grow up?
No, I grew up in Salem, Oregon.
When did you first find out that you were adopted?
Probably around 5 or 6. Just some neighbor kids that were teasing me, that I had looked different and such. And, I didn't look like my parents. As a kid, I guess you don't really think about, skin color or anything. And so they sat down and said, yes, I was adopted.
Now, growing up, there was no issues with getting a driver's license, going to college, and they accepted you, and you just kept assuming you were a U.S. citizen. You had a Social Security card, right?
Correct.
Now, I understand you voted in the 2008 election.
My senior year in high school, and it was like a political government class. We would just, watch debates during school and just talk about, world politics in general. And the teacher just had encouraged us to register to vote.
And you did?
Yes.
When did you find out that you were not a U.S. citizen?
So before John and I got married, we were talking about for our honeymoon, we wanted to do a road trip. And so I went to go get an enhanced driver's license, which is kind of like a bordering state to like a country, say like Canada, Washington to Canada, or, California to Mexico. And when I went there, she said that I didn't have the right paperwork. And I said, what do you mean I don't have the right paperwork? This is what I have, and this is how I got my driver's license, And she's like, I need a naturalization paper. And I was like, well, what's that? And she's like, go find out yourself. I got people in line behind you. So, yeah.
So you went to your parents and you said, hey, where's my naturalization certificate? What'd they say?
they had no idea what that was either.
Okay. So when did you guys get married?
In 2012.
All right. You have children?
Yes, 2.
2. How old?
5 and 4.
Okay, very cute. And how did you guys meet?
In high school.
High school sweethearts? Now, Becky, what do you do for a living? You work right now?
I just take care of the kiddos at home. And then I'll occasionally during the summer do a shave ice stand that we do.
And I also understand that you help the homeless in your church?
Yes, I help coordinate meals during the winter for the homeless.
So at what point now do you say, all right, I got to deal with my wife's immigration issue? When did you guys start to deal with it?
Well, I mean, we tried to deal with it as soon as we reasonably could. So she found out a few months before we got married. And I mean, honestly, at the time when I found out, I thought it was kind of ridiculous, you know, because I knew she had been here since she was a baby, you know, and I was like, how can this, you know, is this real, you know, like, are we really going to have to, it seemed like it would be an easy fix to me at the time, you know.
So how'd you move from Washington to Alaska?
I went to dental school in 2013 in Portland, and then I got a scholarship for the last 3 years of dental school. That was like a federal, has access to immigration lawyers and who like helps people who don't have enough money for a lawyer is essentially what it is. She helped us put a bunch of applications together, and this was in 2015. We went through several applications. They kept getting denied for various reasons. And then in 2017, we moved up to Alaska. And at the time, we were waiting on our pending I-485 application.
You filed an adjustment of status application based on
we filed that in, I believe, 2016.
And that was done in Washington State or in Alaska?
It was done in Washington State.
And then I guess when you moved to Alaska, you changed your address and they moved the case up to Alaska.
Yes.
Right. Which is why it took so long, because people who watch my show know this. When you move from state to state and you change your address, when your case gets up to the new state, it goes to the end of the line as if you just refiled it from the beginning. That's why when you move from one state to the other, you went to the back of the line of whatever the adjustments were in Alaska.
I see. Okay. So we were waiting around for a long time.
Right.
I would check on the application every once in a while, and it would be under review perpetually. You know, basically, it had been under review for so long that I reached out to one of the senators in Alaska to try to get it to start moving. You know, and she tried to help us, but it didn't work at all. And then in, I believe, August of 2019, I hired our.
So we're now 3 years into a pending adjustment with still no answer.
Yeah.
And did you have an interview at all?
We had an interview right before we moved to Alaska. So in June of 2017, we had an interview.
Right.
She talked to us about Becky's voting issue.
Okay.
Yeah, and then we moved. So we moved a month after the interview, and then that was kind of all we heard from them for about 2 years. And then in August of 2019, we hired our attorney. She didn't want to file a lawsuit right away. She said it was a odd case. She said she couldn't promise any results, but she recommended that we do not file a lawsuit immediately. She wanted to try to kind of move along slowly. She wanted to talk to USCIS in person herself. I believe she met with them twice, and they were unreceptive to, you know, her. So it kind of moved along pretty slow. And then we got her denial on the I-485, and that was like 3.5 years after we filed it.
Why did they deny it?
They denied it because she had voted in 2008.
She voted in an election. They claim she made a false claim to U.S. citizenship.
Right.
And that is why she can't get her green card. The fact that I understand there's no record of actually where you were born. The government, even if they wanted to deport you, can't deport you anywhere, because let's assume the government says you're from Mexico. We don't even know if you're from Mexico or not, but let's assume the government says you're from Mexico. Mexico has to accept you and say yes and agree you're a citizen of Mexico, but there's no record of your birth there. So the government just can't dump you off in Mexico just because they say you're Mexican. So there's lots and lots of people in the United States of America who have actually been ordered deported, but are stateless people. The government can't prove where they were born. So the worst case scenario would never come true, which is no one's going to be taking, you know, your wife away from you. So what did you do next?
So then I emailed my attorney. She had me call her. I talked to her on the phone. I was kind of mad because they were threatening to deport my wife, who had been here her whole life, to a foreign country. She told us that the next step would be to file a motion to appeal the decision. So we did do that.
Motion to reopen.
Yes, motion to reopen. They did deny that, by the way.
They denied the motion to reopen as well.
Yeah, they did. Before that, I didn't feel threatened. And then when they sent that denial letter in February, I did feel threatened.
Uh-huh.
So I said to myself, nobody's going to come take my wife without other people knowing about this story, essentially. So I contacted the reporter in Anchorage. He put together a story, and then about 2 weeks later, he published it. I mean, that's kind of what started this chain of events, you know.
Mm-hmm. So what did you do next?
After they denied the motion to reopen, our attorney said that we've exhausted our administrative options. Now we can file a federal lawsuit, was what she said. So we've been kind of preparing the lawsuit, but then in the meantime, we heard that Representative Don Young from Alaska was going to introduce a private bill to the House of Representatives. So that's kind of what we've been focusing on for the last little bit.
So you've been waiting on a private bill. Obviously, a private bill solves everything. So if in fact the private bill goes through and it passes the Senate and the House and Trump signs it, or whoever the president is at that time signs it, then that resolves your problem. I would say this though, when you are denied for a false claim for U.S. citizenship, you have to knowingly make a false claim. In other words, you have to know that you're not a U.S. citizen and that you're saying it, despite knowing you're not a U.S. citizen, you're saying you are a U.S. citizen. And you have to say it to get a benefit, which is to vote, to get a driver's license perhaps, to get a U.S. passport. If you believe yourself to be a U.S. citizen, that's not a false claim to U.S. citizenship. You told the truth. I thought I was a U.S. citizen. That's a truthful claim to U.S. citizenship. You're just in error. And there's a big difference. So when the government denies you for false claim for U.S. citizenship, they have to deny you and say you knew you were doing something wrong. And as a result of that, you're not entitled to a green card. Based on the facts that you just told me in this interview, there was no false claim to U.S. citizenship. It was a truthful claim to U.S. citizenship, and you were in error, which is not a reason to deny your green card. As a matter of fact, you were adopted when you were an infant, so why would you even think that you weren't a U.S. citizen when your parents are telling you you are? Immigration made an error, either purposely or not purposely. And I'll tell you why I think sometimes they make errors purposely. Because it's a lot easier to deny you than it is to approve you. Because nobody gets in trouble if Becky doesn't get a green card. But if they give a green card to somebody who broke the law, then heads roll. And since they're unsure themselves of what the law is, they're going to make the error, if they're going to make an error, on the side of denying you instead of approving you, and immigration does this all the time. And you should know you got nothing to fear because they can't send you anywhere.
Yeah.
They can't deport you. They can't send you anywhere. You're a stateless person. There's no proof of where you're from. So even if they wanted to deport you, they couldn't. So ultimately, I would feel very comfortable that ultimately, if you follow that advice, you would get through.
Okay.
How does it feel to know that there's no record of where you're born?
Yeah, I feel like I'm in limbo, you know, kind of like unwanted, or in some ways like that, or just not cared for anywhere, I guess.
Becky, what is your American dream?
I would love to just be able to travel, to just not have limits, and to just support where I'm from and on many different levels, you know, like my community, you know, or my friends and family, my state, just, just to be happy, married, and raise my kids here.
And John, what is yours?
I'm already living it. Yeah.
Except this little nightmare that follows you around. That'll be fixed as well. Well, thank you very much. I think ultimately you're going to be fine, and I'm sure that if you have congressmen and senators taking up this case, that there will be a private bill. But just know, if not, what your next step would be. What's happened to you is extraordinarily unfair. I'm confident, based on what I've heard, that everything's going to work out for you.
Yeah, I'm very hopeful.
Yeah. Becky and John Trimble, thank you for coming on. Good luck, and thanks for coming on.
Awesome. Thank you, sir. We appreciate it.
As we discussed on Monday, the USCIS has clarified that it's not going to penalize non-citizen applicants who register to vote unknowingly or without intent to do so. However, this is for the naturalization process. Rebecca is applying for her green card, so immigration's new regulations don't necessarily apply to her. Nevertheless, as I had said in the interview, I do think it is going to work out for her. All right, let's put 50 seconds on the clock. 9 immigration questions. End the day well.
All right, Brad, we've been doing it.
We can do it.
We said that we're trying to get through the whole week.
Well, so far, so
whole
good.
week is a party.
So far, so good.
So good.
Let's
I
do
wanna
it.
Keep partying.
Let's do it. Maybe if I sit up
How
straight.
long does it take to? Okay, yes. How long does it take to change from H4 to F1?
A couple months.
At what age can a daughter file for a parent?
21 if you're a U.S. citizen.
Can I renew my combo card within 5 months of expiration?
4 months.
Can I apply for citizenship with an expired 10-year green card?
Yes.
How long after interview will I get my marriage-based green card?
It depends on what happened at the interview.
Can I submit my renewal application without my DACA approval letter?
Yes.
How long does it take to get a green card if I'm on F2B?
6-7 years.
Can someone with a felony renew their green card?
Not if you don't want to be deported. It's possible you'll get deported, so check with a lawyer.
Can I apply for a work permit while U visa is pending?
Yes, humanitarian purposes. Yes, for humanitarian purposes. We did it. I saw the last 15 seconds, so I wanted to expand on it, on that number 8 question. And then I said, oh no, I screwed myself. But then we did it anyway. We did it anyway. And I remembered Vanessa telling me, don't expand the answer. Just give the goddamn answer and expand after dirt balloons. But we did it. All right. We're gonna really dance on Friday if we do it all week.
What? We better party.
We're gonna do it. I'm gonna pull out, like, open up some wine and shit. We should get some champagne and pop the champagne, and we do it all week, right?
I'm here for that.
All right. So on Pop-Up Friday, we'll have the champagne ready if we do it right. Okay.
There you go. You guys y'all have to, subscribe and put on the bell notifications.
That's right.
In order to find out.
Champagne party on Friday if we go through the whole week. We have Thursday. We still have tomorrow and Friday to do it.
Yes, I'm gonna start calling you Champagne Poppy.
All right, let's do comments of the day.
All right, squad. Our first comment of the day comes from Natalie Haynes saying Brad's show is the most informative and educational.
Oh, very nice. Thank you.
Awesome.
Okay. Gowie Maxine saying, I am off for the next 5 days and I am looking forward to schmoozing with Brad and the rest of the family.
Oh, wow. Cool. Taking her time off from work and hanging with us.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. Have fun. All right, our third comment of the day comes from the beautiful Stargirl Mika saying, do y'all realize that we would have not known all of this if it wasn't for Brad and Brad Show Live? Well, all I can tell y'all is Brad Show Live and Spar and Bernstein has been an absolute blessing in my life.
Aw, thank you, Stargirl.
Oh, Stargirl. Okay. Henderson saying, good afternoon, Uncle Brad and the squad. You have me laughing when you call you know who the pumpkin. Oh, no.
Still funny after all these years, right?
Right, still. All right, and our last comment of the day comes from Jessica Leamy talking about the bike ride, saying, been going to the gym, so it's the best way to show off my progress. Hashtag naked bike ride.
Ooh.
So we can send Jessica Leamy.
Jessica Leamy could be an on location correspondent.
Yep.
On location
Yep.
correspondent, Jessica Leamy. There you got it. All right. We'll see you all tomorrow. Thanks for watching. So, Sam, as part of the production, we have to say this disclaimer at the end of the show. Do you mind reading it for me?
Okay, but you know, Brad, I have to do everything around here. It's bad enough I've got to remember everything that happened on the episode from the previous day.
Forget it. I'll do it. The proceeding was information only and not specific legal advice. Consult an attorney about your individual situation. Prior successful results do not guarantee a similar outcome in the future. To make an appointment with the Spar and Bernstein law firm located at 225 Broadway in New York City, call 1-800-529-5465. That's 1-800-529-5465. Easy to remember, 1-800-LAWLINK. That's 1-800-LAWLINK. Once again, make a call to 1-800-529-5465. And of course, link up with the law offices of Spar and Bernstein, located at 225 Broadway on the 5th floor. If I were you out there, make the call, make the link, make the connection, make it Spar and Bernstein. 1-800-LAWLINK. That's 1-800-529-5465. And now, conveniently located in Hartford, Connecticut on 1 Congress Street. Visit us in Connecticut or in New York at 225 Broadway. That's 1-800-529-5465. 1-800-LAWLINK. 1-800-529-5465.
What are you doing?